Good day, guys. Today we are going to do the existence of a limit. Imagine if we are approaching a certain number. Maybe let's say they give us the limit when x approaches some value a of f of x. Then if maybe we can graph this, it will be like this, and then here we have the value of a. So we can approach this a on two directions. Number one, it can be from the negative side, which is from the left. Number two, it can be from the positive side. So this side is where x is less than what? Is less than a. And this side is where x is what? Is greater than a, like this. And then if maybe we want to write this, it will be the limit when x approaches a from the negative side, because it's the left side of what? Of f of x. And then this side is what? Is the limit when x approaches what? A from the positive side of f of x. So we call this one-sided limit, because you can see that now we approach a from the negative side is a one-sided limit, and we approach a from the positive side is one side. Is this one is one side, this one is one side. That is why we call this one a one-sided what? Limit. One-sided limit. You will say one-sided limit by the limit when x approaches what? Approaches a. They will give you a direction of f of x, and what? The limit when x approaches what? A from the positive side of f of x. We call this one a one-sided limit. So if the limit when x approaches a from the negative side of f of x is equal to the limit when x approaches what? Approaches a from the positive side of f of x, then the limit when x approaches a of f of x exists. So we call this one a two-sided limit because they didn't specify. Yeah. All right. Then now let us take an example. If a limit when x approaches a from the negative side of f of x is equal to the limit when x approaches a from the positive side of f of x, then the limit when x approaches a, which is a two-sided limit, does what? Does exist. Then let us see an example. Example 1. Let us say we are given the graph f of x is equal to a piecewise function t2 to the 2t and then squared plus 4, where is x, this one, where x is lesser or equal to 0, and then we have x minus 2 all squared, where x is greater than what? Is greater than 0. Then now they will say find the limit when x approaches what? 0 of what? Of f of x, because here we have x is less than 0 or x is greater than 0. So to find this limit, we have to find the limit when x approaches 0 from the negative side and the limit when x approaches 0 from the positive side. Then now let us go on. Number 1, we have to find the limit when x approaches 0 from the negative side of f of x. So if we can check here on our piecewise function, remember when x approaches 0 from the negative side is when x is less than what? Is less than 0. That means we are going to pick this function and put it there. Is 2x squared plus 4. Then now this will be equal to the limit when x approaches 0 from the negative side. We have 2x squared plus 4. Then we find the limit for this one. This will be equal to what? We can do the distribution part, which is the limit when x approaches 0 from the negative side. We have 2 here and x squared. Then plus the limit when x approaches 0 from the negative side, we have 4. Then now we plug our 0. Here we are going to have 2 all is 0 all squared. Then we have 2 here. And then plus what? Plus 4. Remember the limit when x approaches something of a constant is that constant. Therefore our answer is what? Is 4. Again, number 2, we have to find the limit when x approaches 0 from the positive side of what? Of f of x. Then this is equals to the limit when x approaches 0 from the positive side. Remember when they say x from the positive side is where x is greater than 0. So we come to our piecewise function. This is the function x minus 2 all squared, and then is greater than 0. So we are going to take that one. We are going to take x minus 2 all squared, and then now we distribute our limit. The limit when x approaches 0 from the positive side, we have x minus the limit when x approaches 0 from the positive side, we have 2, and then all squared. And note that if you are going to miss this one, you will get a error. They will mark you wrong because you didn't specify the direction. Then now we substitute. We are going to substitute here 0 minus what? Minus 2 all squared. This is equal to what? Is equal to 4. So if you can check the limit when x approaches 0 of f of x does exist because what? The limit when x approaches 0 from the negative side of f of x is equal to the limit when x approaches 0 from the positive side of f of x. All right, guys, this is another example. We are given a function, the piecewise function, and then this one, and this one, and this one. This is k plus is x, I mean, is x, 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 and x. So is f of x is x plus is 7, and then the absolute value of x minus 2, then x squared minus 2x, then 2x minus 3. Then here we have x less than negative 3, negative 3 less than x less than negative 1, negative 1 less than x less than 3, and then we have 3 lesser or equal to x. Then now they say number 1, find the limit when x approaches what? Approaches negative 1. That means is this one and this one. So we have to check. Number 1, the limit when x approaches negative 1 from the negative side of f of x. So we have to check which function lying the negative side of negative x. So between this one and this one, actually where x is less than what? Is less than -1. So we can see that is this function. So we're going to take this one and plug it here. This is equal to the limit when x approaches -1 from the negative side, the absolute value of x minus 2, absolute value. Then now we can substitute or distribute. We have, when we substitute -1 here, we're going to have the absolute value of -1 minus what? Minus 2 absolute value. Then this is equal to the absolute value of -3. And then the absolute value of a negative number is equal to 3. We cancel that negative number. Then number 2, we have to find the limit when x approaches what? When x approaches -1 from the positive side, is where x is greater than -1. So in this case, if we can write this interval, it will be x greater -1 or x less than what? Less than 3. So in this case, that means where x is greater than -1, we are going to pick this function. So let us plug it here, f of x. This is equal to the limit when x approaches -1 from the positive side. Then we substitute x squared minus 2x, and then this will be equal to the limit when x approaches -1 from the positive side of x squared minus 2 the limit when x approaches -1 from the positive side of x. Then this will be equal to, we substitute -1 all squared minus 2 -1. Then this is equal to 1 plus 2, which is equal to 3. Can you see that this is the same as this one? So therefore, the limit when x approaches what? -1 of f of x does exist because the limit when x approaches -1 from the negative side of f of x is equal to the limit when x approaches -1 from the positive side of f of x. So that's all. So let me leave this example for you to do. Thank you.